Read with me and try not to laugh. And remember, I will put again what you gave me in the screen. Your book saying, what? For you the male sex and for him the female? Who is complaining about the gender? Is it me? Are you there, Abdul? What's wrong with people? Your book says, your book says. No, it's not my book says, it is your God saying. Your God saying what? What? Why he's saying that? They gave him 3 daughters. Read carefully. Have you seen Al-Lat and Al-Uzza and the other goddess Manat? What? For you the male sex and for him the female? Who said that? This is not a Christian prince, my friend. This is Allah. Idiot. Obviously he's copying an article somebody wrote for him about what I said. But this is why they don't dare to call me, because they will get busted in a second. My book says so? No, no, my book does not say that. My book saying what Allah said. So if you say to me that chapter 19 verse 91 saying that, that is a stupid thing to say. Why? Because in different verse again Muhammad he says, or Allah he says, that if you want to take a partner or a son, he will take from ourselves. And Allah in different verse too. There's many verses actually. You know, the good thing that Muhammad he talk a lot. Isn't it the Quran? It says if Allah wanted to have a son, he will say, be my son, and he will be. So how the verse in chapter 19 say what it says? It's a total contradiction. Let's go there. So what the problem? Read it. If Allah had willed to choose a son, he could have chosen him what he would of that which he has created. Well, so? How the verse you gave me, chapter 19, it says it's not fit for Allah to have a son. And now he's saying here, if Allah would choose a son, if he would like to choose a son, he would choose from the one who created. Look at this. But I thought it doesn't fit. So it's Allah who complained about the Arab giving him female daughters. And here, by the way, this is proving the lies that Muslims, they say to us, that the Arab before Islam used to disrespect women. They claim that Islam gave women right. As you see, the Muslims, they are the one who put the women inside the veil. And the Arab, they are the one who worship them as goddess. Do you see it? That destroy all the lies about the Arab before Islam used to abuse women. Because the Arab before Islam didn't have a problem even to worship women as God. Correct? Not only they have them as a queens or as leaders. Even Muhammad, he used to work for Khadija before Islam. His boss, she was a woman. His wife, she was his boss. Actually, he married her because of the money. She's way older than him. She have 2 husbands before him. And yet this young man, he married this old woman for a very simple reason. She is his ticket. And Muhammad himself, obviously, he don't like to marry women older than him. This is why we see the story where Muhammad, he was tempting Jabir. He says to him, why you don't marry a child? So you can sport with her, you can have fun with her. When Jabir, he married a woman, she is a widow. Muhammad, he said to him, did you marry a virgin or previously married women? He said to him, previously married women. He said, why you don't marry a child, a young girl? Let us see how young this girl. The story here explained to us. Why Muhammad then he married Khadija? Obviously the money. So Allah Messenger said to Jabir, have you married? I said yes. He again said, a virgin one or previously married? He said, oh Allah Messenger, previously married. Whereupon he said, why? Why you don't marry a young girl, Jariya, a child, so you could play with her? Play with her? This is the purpose of marriage? And she could sport with you, and or you could amuse with her, and you could she could amuse with you. This is Muhammad's idea of a female. He wants a female child. When Muhammad giving an advice, such an advice to a married man, trying to make him leave his wife and go after children like him. He married Khadija. She was old because of her money, but he married Aisha because she is young. This is the dream of Muhammad. And then Jabir, he answered Muhammad, the perverted man Muhammad, he said to him, my brother Abdullah, he died. He fell a martyr in Uhud, and he left 9 or 7 daughters behind him. I therefore did not approve the idea of bringing a girl like them. Do you see it says like them? Jabir was young. Jabir was young. You stupid Abdul. He married a widow. So Jabir, okay, Muhammad was young too when he married Khadija. You stupid idiot. Look at the excuse. And how young he is. His brother, he have 7 or 9 children, and he is young. He's 6 years old, right? He is taking care of a big family. He was young. He was a man, you donkey. Get out of here. Get out of here. You are like a diarrhea in my chat. Seriously. So the man said clearly, why I cannot bring someone like them? Read carefully. This is why I did not prove the idea that I should bring a girl like them. Girl like them. So his brother, he died, and he have 7 daughters. Those are orphans. And this guy is taking care of the orphans. And Muhammad is tempting him to bring a girl like them in their age. The guy is saying, I want a woman so she can take care of them. He want a woman. He said Abdullah, he died and fell martyr in Uhud, and he left 9 or 7 daughters behind him. I therefore did not approve the idea that I should bring a girl like them, but I prefer to bring a woman who should look after them. So girl like them who need somebody to look after them. Do you see the point? Do you see it? Perverted man. And you know, and look here, the man who is not a prophet, he is way more decent than the filthy Muhammad. He said, so can teach them good manner. Muhammad, he don't care about having a woman to teach her kids good manner. He care for one thing, so you can sport with her, sport with you. She amuse you and you amuse her. So this is the perverted man Muhammad, who is now almost in his 60. He is advising one of his men, saying to him, what's wrong with you? Why you marry growing women? Why you don't marry a child? Why you don't go and rape a child? Is that an advice of a prophet of God? Now, if this man is a stupid like Muhammad, perverted, he will go to his house, he will divorce his wife, and he go and look for a child. Because this is the advice of the prophet. Who knows best? The prophet. Nobody knows more than the prophet. Again, we go back to our topic. Muslims, why you have 70 or 80,000 little boys in the heaven to serve you? Until now, you give us no answer. There is no vaccine for stupidity. It's a stupid to believe that there's God, he want to give me women with big boobs. It's a stupid to believe that there's God will make river of wine, river of River of wine, and then Allah, He says that wine is the handmaid of Shaitan. So it's made by Shaitan, bought by Allah. Muslims? It's made by Shaitan. Bought by Allah. Do you see it? And by the way, you know, not because I'm a Christian or it's, you know, you can go and read about the benefit of alcohol. Alcohol is an amazing product. But as any product, anything exists in this earth, can be harmful, can be useful. How many people through centuries, through the time, you clean the wound of an injured person by alcohol. It was the best always. Like now we have a new product to cleanse your wound, right? But through centuries and centuries, alcohol was the product, was the best product to clean your wounds. Otherwise, your wound will develop and will become something evil, and you might lose your arm or leg, or even die by infection. So alcohol, as anything, too much salt can kill you. Too much water, you will be drowned. Too much air, you will not breathe. If you go in a bicycle and you speed too much and you are not wearing a helmet, what will happen? You can't breathe because the speed is so high, too much air. There's too much air is coming up against your face to the point you can't even take it inside your throat. Anything is too much is not healthy. Too much food, you will become overweight and you will die by heart attack or whatever. Too much is bad always. So alcohol, the Lord, He says, little of it will bless your heart. And actually even scientists, they say clearly that those who have heart problem, it's good for them to drink alcohol, little alcohol from time to time. You can use alcohol for many wonderful things. But as everything in this earth, the good can be used for bad. You know, we make cars to travel, but there's a bad person, he can drive a car through a crowd and kill them. But the car is the same car. Does that mean the car is made of the devil? Actually, the first bicycle came to Saudi Arabia. The police in the customs, they arrested the guy, and they took the bicycle to the court, and then they brought the Muslims in the middle of, I think it was Jeddah, and they executed the bicycle, and they call it the bike of the devil, because they never saw a bike before. This is the bike of the devil. Our friend Tawfiq, who left Islam, asking me about Sufism. Sufism is another, like, they are not peaceful. It's a lie when they say to you Sufism is peaceful. There's a huge number of the Muslim Brotherhood. Actually, Erdogan is a Sufi. He's the biggest criminal in history. They killed the Kurdish. They killed the Armenian. They killed, I mean, they are, you know, Sufism have nothing to do with peace. Sufism is a new religion out of Islam came, and they could not stay without, let's say, dancing and music. Those are people who've been forced into Islam. They could not accept Islam the way Muhammad, he brought it to them. So they have to add their own, let us say, touches to make Islam more attractive. So what they do, they add dancing, they add the music, they add all kind of stuff. But they are the same. They do jihad, they kill, they do terrorism. It's the same. Muslim Brotherhood is the best example. All right. Any Muslim? Let us see. We have somebody texting. Let us see if he's a Muslim. Can you find reference that Allah, La is the moon god, and La mention of Allah? Okay, well, this is will need like a lot of work to give reference, but let me give you something fast and easy about who is Allah. Allah, or Allah, La, is the moon god. Akbar is the sun god. If we go and find the stories from the hadith, the Muslim, they will try to play games with it, and they will say we don't accept it. So let us go to the Quran. In chapter 6, verse number 78, the story here about Abraham worshipping planets. Do you see it, my friend, the one who asked me? The mysterious mystery? Read carefully. This is Abraham. When the night grew dark upon him, he beheld a star. He said, "This is my Lord." Do you see it? But when it set, he said, "I love not things that set." Now, the translation here for a star, it's Kawkab. Kawkab really is not a star. Kawkab is a planet. Kawkaban. Then he continues saying, "And when he saw the moon uprising, he exclaimed, and he said, 'This is my Lord.' But when it set, he said, 'Unless my Lord guide me, I surely shall become one of the folk who astray.'" Okay. Then when he saw the sun uprising, he cried and he said, "This is my Lord, this is Akbar." Do you see it? What Abraham called the sun? Akbar. The translation here says greater. The Arabic is Akbar. If you know how the word Arabic for Akbar written, this is how it is. So what Abraham, he said when he saw the sun, he said, "This is my Lord, this is Akbar." So the sun was the greatest God. Akbar. Even in the Muslim translation says the greater. Right? But Akbar does not really greater as much, present a name of God who in control of that planet or star. So La is the moon god, not the moon itself. He is the moon god. You see, many naive, they mix up between the moon god and the moon. The moon god is the God who controls the moon. The sun god is the God who controls the sun, not the sun itself. So the moon god is Allah. The sun god is Akbar. What Muhammad he came with is the two God became one. Allahu Akbar. This is why when we Arabic we say it, we say Allahu Akbar. Who in Arabic mean and. Allahu Akbar. The letter Wa in Arabic mean and. So how you say Allah and Akbar? And if the Muslim they say Allahu Akbar mean Allah is a greater, well the sentence is missing. Let us say for the sake of argument, it's missing many things. When you say Allah is a greater, what is is? And greater from what? See, the Muslims, They say Akbar and they stop. Allahu Akbar. Okay. Okay, Allah is Akbar from what? Akbar in Arabic is to compare between size of two things or even age. So I can say that this brother Akbar minni, he is older than me, which means his age, you know. Or it can be even someone who is a greater in the value or a greater in the account, you know. But all the time is talking about something have to do with the size. Like age is a size of years, you know, count of years. I can say this tree is Akbar from this tree. It's bigger as a size. All right. So when the Muslims they say Allahu Akbar, and the Muslims they say to us Allah mean the Akbar mean the greater or the greatest. Okay, greatest from what? Any Muslim can help us? Allah is the greatest from what? Any Muslim can help me? Ali Ibrahim, we have a pal talk. If you like to call me, you are welcome. If you like, don't post Skype, you know. We have pal talk open, text me there. Any Muslim can tell us Allah is bigger than what? Or greater than what? Okay, we have someone, he used to be a Muslim, not anymore. That's good. Mobohai, my friend, from the Philippines. Any Muslim? Is Allah is a greater? Allah is greater from what? Who is a Muslim want to help us? Hashim, if you want to read more, actually, you can read my books. In my books, I give more details, you know, of those things. You see, if you want to go like to old days, oh, somebody's trying to call me. That's strange. Maybe he is in my... Okay, he's not answering. All right, what we can do. Any Muslim can help us? Allah is Akbar from what? If Allah and Akbar is not two gods, God Allah or La, and God Akbar became one God. If Allah Akbar mean Allah is a greater, Allah greater from what? Other gods? Well, if Allah is greater than other gods, that means they exist. That means He is not the only God. Correct? When I say that Allah is a greater, and I say greater than other God, that means there's other gods. Any Muslim? Just simple question, you will see Islam will be in trouble. Okay, Allah is a greater. Who is saying that? Allah. Okay, Allah, He was comparing Himself to who? Because when I say I am a greater, I'm comparing myself automatically. Otherwise, the second part of the sentence is missing. There's something wrong. You don't say I'm Akbar without saying you're Akbar from what? You are Akbar from what? The Bible says God of gods. Yeah, because you know the Bible says that God is the King of kings too. Does that mean he is a king like the rest of the kings? No. You know, there's God. Here, this is a metaphorical of people worshiping many gods. So all the gods, all the false gods, they are going to bow down to this true God, which means they are going to be demolished. But here, when you compare yourself and you say, oh, you are Akbar, you see, what Akbar mean? Greater? That means they are great. You are not condemning them. You are not saying I am the God of gods. You are saying I am greater. That means they are great too. You just said something good about them, which means they are not fake. If I say I am smarter, that means you are smart. Right? If I say I'm smarter than you, that means you are smart, but I am smarter, so both of us are smart. So if Allah is saying He is a greater, that means they are great, but He is a greater. And you know, like each language have its own tradition, like in Arabic or even in English. Like you have a God with capital letter and you have God with a small letter. So always when you read the translation, they make it clear for you what they mean by this, by the gods or the gods, you know. Obviously they are talking about false gods. Is Allah greater than the false gods? Because if he's greater than the false god, he have to be from their kind. You see, you compare something to something from the same kind. When you speak about the value. So when I compare between two, or I'm talking about myself to be better, I'm better than this person. That means he's good, but I'm better. Well, we are just trying to find out how the Muslims, they come to an answer for those things. It's very simple things, but yet they cannot answer it. You see, Islam is a religion. As long you memorize, you repeat, you say we believe, you don't ask questions, Islam is fine. The second you start asking questions, then Islam collapses. You remember yesterday we were playing the video for you, the guy, he was saying that the Prophet, he was able to say ALM. How he can do that? An advice about the vaccine. My friend, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. I'm not a doctor, I don't know. You know, if I give you an advice, it's going to be a false advice. How somebody like me can advise you about the vaccine? I have no idea. Any Muslim? Give me a new version of Paltalk. When I'm going to give you a version of Paltalk, just search it. Anyone? Yeah, the Prophet, he was amazing. He was able to say ALM. This is what kind of a religion they have. You know, they are desperate. their God is not God. So they have to make God look like God. I mean, the fake God. The Prophet was able to say Alif Lam Mim. How he can do that? That's impossible. How the Prophet can do that? You can put yourself in his shoes. It's impossible. A prophet of God, he is 45 years old, something. He was able to repeat the 3 letters. How he can do that? I mean, come on, we have to be serious here. This is amazing. He said ALM. Do you know how hard to say those things? Here you notice how much this religion is silly and stupid, and they are bankrupt. No serious conversation. No serious questions. Yet silly praising for the fake prophet.